What's up, guys? Welcome to the channel Rockin' the Country. I'm Don, and I already have a goofy grin on my face because love this song for 40 years, 35 at least. I got into the Dead when I was in my 20s. But anyway, I did the U.S. Blues on April 15th in honor of Tax Day in America here. But a lot of you guys are into the Dead, and the Dead. You know, those of you who know the Dead and who know country music know that they are country-ish. And there are some bands in my history, if you will, or in my music repertoire that I didn't like country for the first, 40 years in my life or so, whatever it may be, yeah. And, but I loved Skynyrd. And I love the Allman Brothers, and I love Marshall Tucker, and I love the Outlaws. And I'm listening to these songs, and they have country influences in them. And then the Dead as well. When I got into the Dead, I didn't realize that they were like a halfway house, if you will. They introduce you to some of the sounds and structures and lyrics to songs. And now I'm like a proselytizer for country music up here in Jersey and wherever I go. I'm not obnoxious as far as I know about it, but I was talking with somebody yesterday. I was getting my hair cut, and there are a few people in there, and none of the four liked country music, which is rare, because even up here in Jersey and New York, probably half the people like country music, and they're just not real loud about it. But all that said, one of them's one of the people who was in the salon there, she writes poetry. And I'm like, Patty, if you like poetry, country music is the genre for you, because the lyricism is second to none in country music. The way it's structured, the way you get time to develop thoughts, and how the musicality is just, in my understanding of it, more expansive. You have steel guitar that strikes certain chords that don't exist in other genres. So, and you also bring in the fiddle, which also strikes those chords. And you could bring in a harmonica, which you could bring a harmonica in other genres. Rock has harmonica, The Who, Baba O'Reilly, and stuff like that. But all that said, Tennessee Jed is just a song that I've always liked. And so I'm going to give some shout outs to some folks. But first I want to acknowledge someone. Her name is Denise, and she's a Jersey girl, and she's, in my opinion, well, of course it's my opinion, she's the top attorney in the state of New Jersey. So, and she's a Deadhead. She loves the Dead, and people are shocked to find out how many very successful people in business and wherever are Deadheads. And but anyway, she's a Deadhead, and she's starting to turn on to country music, in no small part thanks to moi. But anyway, Denise, if you see this, shout out to you. And also, Simeon Teitelbaum, you mentioned in the comments, like, nobody specifically requested this song. I just decided it was time to do an upbeat, fun song, because they're very serious songs that I've done, as we know. And but also, you got to blend in some of the fun stuff. So, Simeon Teitelbaum, you mentioned that you like the Dead. Sarah Emily, you also commented at some point. Eat It, you had mentioned, which is a funny screen name. Eat It, you mentioned that your mom, when you were growing up, she was big into the Dead. And so I'm guessing that you have some of the, partiality toward the Dead. You probably like them a little bit as well. And then oh, wait a minute, what is this? Smiling Medicine Entertainment. Wow, what a name. Yeah, Smiling Medicine Entertainment. Leave some comments if you see this, Smiling Medicine SME. Leave a comment what that's all about. I'd love to know. And Tanya Blaylock. Tanya, thank you for your comments as well. So we're going to listen. Oh, I'm wearing my Nashville hat too. It's going backwards as I normally do. And my Stone Pony shirt. But here we go with the Dead. And this is from the Europe 72 tour and live album. Here we go. go wrong with this? Are you kidding me? I'm thinking of some Southern women now myself.
Listen to the whistle of the evening train. You know you about to wind up dead. You don't head back to Tennessee yet. Rich man step on my poor head.
That's a great line.
When you get back, you better butter my bread.
I don't know what that means.
Well, you know it's like I said. You better head back to Tennessee, kid. Tennessee, Tennessee, there ain't no place I'd rather be. Baby, won't you carry me back to Tennessee?
Baby, won't you carry me? I wonder why they chose that.
Drink all day and rock all night.
Been there?
Law come to get you if you don't walk right.
Been there too.
Got a letter this morning, baby, and all in red. You better head back to Tennessee, Jed.
I love that.
I dropped 4 flights and cracked my spine. Honey, come quick with the iodine.
All right, sometimes when I listen to them, because I'm on camera doing these reactions, they strike me a different way at times because I'm like focused intently on it. That's part of my self-appointed job, which is to comment, and I'm a word nerd, so I look at the lyrics. Like, those resonate deeply with me, with the structure of the sound. But honey, come quick with the iodine. I mean, anybody remember iodine? I do. When I was a kid, I'd get a cut, and then you'd have to go, and your mom would take that little, it was like a little brown bottle or something like that, and then there was like this little plastic tiny little spoon, and you would just like swab it on there. And of course you have no idea if it's doing anything. I don't even think our parents have any idea if it was doing anything, but you were told, put iodine on it. But he gets into a fight. He dropped 4 fights, all right? You'd think at the end of the second one, he'd realize I really shouldn't fight much anymore. But after the third one, he got into a 4th one and cracked his spine, and that's why he needs iodine. Only Grateful Dead, well, not only, but I mean, brilliant, fun. There we go.
Catch a few wings, baby, under the bed. Then you head back to Tennessee, Jan.
Under the bed, he's got to sleep.
Tennessee, Tennessee, there ain't no place I'd rather be. Baby, won't you carry me back to
That's
Tennessee?
New Orleans right there. That piano. To me, anyway. And the bass in this song is just keeping it popping along, and you normally don't pick up on it.
I run into Charlie Ford, blacked my eye and he kicked my dog.
That's horrible. He kicked his dog.
My doggy turned to me and he said, Tennessee jet.
You know, you can't go wrong with the talking dog. Like, what was that video, the reaction he did a month or two ago? And I gave a shout out to this subscriber, Augie Hedquist. And oh, it wasn't a reaction. It was my favorite screen names, my tangent, one of my two tangents, and positive tangents. And it reminded me of Augie Doggy. And anytime you've got a talking dog, what was that Mormon show growing up? Gee, Davy. Like, that's how the dog talked in it. Some of you guys will know which one I'm talking about. But this line I've always loved in this song. Always. From the get-go, right out of the chute. I loved that line that, well, he dropped 4 Fred, cracked his spine, come quick, da, da, da. Then now he runs into another guy, and he blacks his eye, and he kicked his dog. All right, that's another bad scene. The guy really should give up on this trip and head back home ASAP. But he's not. He's getting his ass kicked left and right. But then the doggy looks at him. And I've always loved that the doggy looked at him and said, can we please go home? Even the dog had enough sense to want to leave.
I woke up feeling mean.
There you go.
I went down to play the slot machine. The wheels turned around and the letters read, you better head back to Tennessee, kid.
Nothing's going right.
Tennessee, Tennessee, there ain't no place I'd rather be. Baby, won't you carry me back to Tennessee?
So easy to dance to this. And fun too. But man, nothing's going right for him. So he's thinking of the beauty of Tennessee only because he won't be getting his ass kicked every other minute. Plus, Tennessee is beautiful. No disputing that. ass kickings he took, I just made the connection. He's going to need to be carried back there. All right, we know from the song he dropped 4 fights, and then after that, what was the dude's name? Charlie DeFog or something. Charlie kicked his head, but blacked his eye. So, yeah, he's going to need to be carried back to Tennessee. I just made that connection. It wasn't a train. I mean, it could have taken a train back to carry him back, but that, anyway, yeah, that's just, I mean, I'm not going to rate that song. I love that song, you know, and I know a bunch of, I never got to see the Dead in concert because I didn't get into them until later. And like, I don't know, it's like sometime, I guess I was about 22 or something like that. And I bought a cassette, which tells you a thing or two. And it was Go to Heaven, their album Go to Heaven. And on it, like, I remember just falling in love with the song Althea. And it's just a gorgeous song. And then Alabama Getaway, of course. And then, you know, I got into some of their other stuff. Terrapin came a little bit later for me. And I don't know. And then, of course, they came out with Touch of Grey, which everybody jumped on the bandwagon then. They call them touch heads. And I was a touch head too, but I'd already gotten into Terrapin Station. So if you got into like Samson and Delilah and Estimated Prophet and all that stuff, and China Cat and all that Sunflower, and, you know, you're into it at that point, because the Dead is an acquired taste, but once you acquire it, there's no going back. It's like traditional country music. You know, once you acquire that taste of non-pop country, the red dirt, Oklahoma, Texas, Eastern Kentucky, you know, part Canada, the Americana stuff, there's really no going back. And all that said, I'm going to leave that be. So shout out to you guys who are Deadheads. I mentioned a few in the beginning, even though you didn't request a Dead. I know you appreciate it. So, and also a secondary shout out to Denise. Join the fold. Join the country fold. Come on board. Join the bright side. All right, guys, that's it with the Grateful Dead. Just a classic. Jerry Garcia, Bob Weir, the guys, just unbelievable. That's it. Have a great day. See you on another video. Keep rocking the country.